The Ghost of Hui Baihua's Daughter. Written by Senja Durgantara. As the newest addition to the security team at the Hokkaimen City Museum of Fine Arts, I had heard whispers of the infamous legend surrounding the place. The tale of the ghostly apparition, the daughter of Hui Baihua, had haunted the corridors of my mind since my first day on the job. At that time, in 2010, I was on leave from Saigon University because I ran out of money. And because I was determined to graduate as soon as possible, I reluctantly accepted the job. That night, as I embarked on my patrol through the dimly lit halls, the weight of the legend bore down on me like a suffocating blanket. The air was thick with anticipation, every creak of the floorboards sending a shiver down my spine. I found myself drawn to the main building, the former mansion of Hui Baihua himself. With each step, the stories of the tragic fate of his daughter echoed in my mind, her suffering etched into the very walls around me. As I reached the upper floor, a sense of dread washed over me. This was where she had been confined, hidden away from the world like a dark secret. The thought of her loneliness and despair clawed at my heart, filling me with a profound sense of unease. Suddenly, a sound pierced the silence, a soft, plaintive cry echoing through the darkness. My blood ran cold as I realized the source, the ghost of Hui Baihua's daughter, condemned to roam these halls for eternity. With trembling hands, I raised my flashlight, casting its beam into the shadows. And there, amidst the darkness, I saw her spectral figure, her form twisted with anguish, her eyes vacant and hollow. Fear seized me, paralyzing me where I stood. I could feel her sorrow, her anguish, radiating from her like a palpable force. It was as if the very air around me had turned to ice, suffocating me with its oppressive weight. In that moment, I knew that I was not alone, that the ghost of Hui Baihua's daughter was watching, waiting, lurking in the darkness just beyond my sight. With a trembling breath, I turned and fled, the echo of her cries following me as I stumbled blindly through the corridors. You may be curious, who is Hui Baihua's daughter? What happened to him? So, let me tell you the tragic story, a young woman betrayed and forsaken, her spirit forever trapped within the walls of the museum. Many years ago, before it became the Hokkaimen City Museum of Fine Arts, the museum building was the residence of Hui Baihua. In the eerie backdrop of 1934, a trio of looming buildings stood as a testament to the wealth and power of Hui Baihua, a real estate tycoon whose empire sprawled across Saigon City. Within these imposing structures lay a tale of horror and despair, shrouded in the tragic fate of Hua's daughter. The story goes that Hua's daughter contracted leprosy during a citywide epidemic and was confined to a bedroom on the upper floor. During that time, leprosy was thought of as more of a curse than what it really is, a disease. Ever superstitious and conscious of their public image, the family decided to cover up the fact that their daughter was ill with leprosy and announced that she had died from a mysterious illness, which they then followed with a public funeral to put the matter to rest. However, the truth is Hua's daughter was locked away in her room. For years, the family concealed the truth, feeding their daughter through a sliver of a slot, sealing her fate within the suffocating confines of her chamber. Locked away in a forsaken room on the upper floor, she languished in solitude, her existence concealed under the veil of the cruel clutches of leprosy. The isolation and anguish gnawed at her sanity, twisting her mind into a grotesque labyrinth of despair. As the darkness enveloped her soul, Whispers of her torment echoed through the corridors. Some whispered of her tragic demise, her life snuffed out by the cold grip of a noose, while others spoke of flames engulfing her form as she embraced oblivion. Now, within the desolate halls of the mansion, the presence of the tormented spirit loomed heavy. Her ethereal figure drifted, her cries piercing the stillness of the night with mournful wails that echoed through the emptiness, a reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the facade of wealth and power. As dawn broke, I stumbled upon another security guard, his eyes haunted by the same dread that plagued me. It seemed this was not an isolated incident. Nearly every guardian of the museum had encountered the wrath ghost of Huibaihua's daughter. Desperation clawed at my soul as I realized the depth of the peril we faced. Driven by the dire need to keep my job, I dared to propose a solution born from desperation, a shaman summoned from the depths of my village to banish the vengeful specter of Huibaihua's daughter. With trepidation, the museum's guardians and I pooled our resources, secretly arranging for the shaman's services, shielded from the prying eyes of the museum's director. The night of reckoning arrived, like a shroud of impending doom. The air crackled with tension as the shaman commenced his ancient ritual, incantations swirling around us like a sinister mist. Suddenly, the temperature plummeted, and icy tendrils of dread coiled around our hearts. Despite the sealed confines of the chamber, a chilling wind howled through the halls, carrying with it the whispers of tortured souls. As the shaman delved deeper into the arcane, his form contorted with otherworldly possession. His voice, a guttural growl from realms beyond, echoed through the chamber, filling us with a primal terror. With a violent jerk, he was lifted from the ground, suspended in the air as if by unseen hands, before crashing back down with bone-jarring force. With a gasp, the shaman returned from the abyss, his body trembling with exhaustion. Through quivering lips, he revealed the ghastly truth. The ghost of Huibaihua's daughter was bound to her earthly remains, a cursed vessel for her eternal torment. Yet, the location of her grave remained an enigma, buried beneath layers of forgotten history. As the weight of our failure settled upon us like a suffocating shroud, I realized that our battle against the malevolent force ghost of Huibaihua's daughter had only just begun. And the darkness that lurked within the museum's ancient halls threatened to consume us all. You can probably guess what I did next. Yes, a direct encounter with the ghost of Huibaihua's daughter is much more frightening than just hearing the story. I knew that I could never return to that place, that the specter of the past would forever haunt my dreams. And so, with a heavy heart, I bid farewell to the Hokkaimen City Museum of Fine Arts, leaving behind the echoes of that fateful night. But the memory of the ghostly apparition would linger, a reminder of the darkness that lurked within the shadows, waiting to ensnare the unwary soul.